Welcome to the WrestleTalk News. I'm Quinnell. You know, wrestling has this perception of being quite a toxic little place with egos running wild everywhere, but it's been a little bit since we've seen some good old-fashioned heat, brother. Do you remember heat? Do you remember when those were the top stories aside from, anything CM Punk related? Matt Hardy a couple of days ago took to Twitter to praise the Young Bucks following their trios match with the Dark Order. How dare he, the nerve, saying that he thinks the Bucks and Hangman are extraordinary talents who don't get the flowers they deserve sometimes. A fan chimed in to agree with Hardy, noting that it may be cool to hate on the Elite if you're a CM Punk fan, but they should still be recognized for the great wrestlers they are, to which Hardy added, between this and the toxic Cornette cult, these guys don't get the adoration that they truly deserve. Well, he said his name, so summoned he was, and Jim Cornette responded, even if you have to abandon your principles and verbally fillet these childish cretins for your check, leave my fans alone. It's not their fault Tony's not paying them enough to lie. What followed was Hardy defending his principles, a back and forth argument between Hardy and Cornette's podcast co-host Brian Last, and closing statements from both Cornette and Hardy that read, "I'd like to thank Brian Last for staying up into the night toying with this concussed ex-great while he was protesting too much about how successful he is. I go to sleep too early on Saturday nights to have time to play with kids. Golly, Matt, don't you have signings to do? I used to have massive respect for you, but that's been long gone. That's the case with many people now, and it's sad. This is my final tweet to you. You and Least keep doing your shock jock routines and fanning those toxic flames of hate and negativity for your zombies to slurp up. Make those bucks however you can though, right? Enjoy your life, Jim. I'll certainly enjoy mine." Which all sounds pretty inflammatory to me, but I'm just not sure how much heat that is. So now I'm gonna hand it over to WrestleTalk's weather reporter, Helen Temperature, to tell us exactly how much heat this is. How's it looking out there, Helen?
It's a 5 on the scale today, a bang average amount of heat, just like the bang average job you're doing today.
Well, I think we should just focus on the heat.
Bang average, do better!
All right. Thank you, Helen. Moving on to SmackDown, and while there were some criticisms levied towards the Bloodline segments on the show, namely that the Tribal Court overran, meaning other segments on the show had to be drastically trimmed down, you can't argue with the numbers because the opening of the show drew a monster rating. Brandon Thurston noted on Twitter that the second quarter hour of SmackDown, smack bang in the middle of the Bloodline Tribal Court segment, averaged more than 3 million viewers and had 1.23 million viewers in the 18 to 49 demo. That is an absolutely monstrous rating, which helped the show average 2.561 million viewers across the show, and 986,000 average 18 to 49 viewers, the highest demo rating since 2020. And before I hand it to Luke, one more story about Bray Wyatt's status, as he hasn't been seen since February. Fightful Select is reporting that Wyatt still isn't slated for a return anytime soon, with his reported illness still ongoing. There has also reportedly not been any creative plans made for Wyatt due to the unpredictable nature of his illness. Whatever's going on with Wyatt, we at WrestleTalk would like to wish him the best in his recovery. And now, over to Luke for his Raw review.
And now it's time for my review of Monday Night Raw, aka the Judgment Day show edition of Monday Night Raw, in about 5 minutes. The show kicked off with the main story on Raw at the moment, the possible implosion of the Judgment Day, which started with Finn Balor coming out for a promo to call out Damian Priest for costing him his match at Money in the Bank and to settle their differences right now. Priest didn't come out, but Mammy and Son did instead, to suggest that maybe we talk about this in the back. Finn, clearly bored of the conversation, walked to the back, which gave Rhea a chance to cut a promo on Seth Rollins, who came out with buffalo wings because they were in, checks notes, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. They actually were in Buffalo, but I just want to see if anyone gets my self-deprecating humor. I also think we should start a little counter at the bottom of the screen for all the Judgment Day segments, so pop a little Finn down there, please, editor. Damian Priest was hanging out backstage, and Rhea pleaded with him to sort out his issues with Finn like a man. Priest told her that he tried that, but Balor wouldn't listen. I actually love how this episode was built around this Judgment Day story, as it gave the episode a sort of huge structural backbone. Drew McIntyre had his first match since WrestleMania by teaming with Matt Riddle to take on Imperium. Sorry, I'll try and say that like Samantha Irvin. Imperium! That's actually harder than you think. And it looks like Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser are going to leave Giovanni in the dust. Please do not break up this act, WWE. Later in the show, they announced Matt Riddle versus Gunther for next week. Speaking of acts I don't want to break up, the Judgment Day had a chat backstage where Finn and Priest got on the same page. It's not a strong page, but it's a page nonetheless. We got a lengthy recap of the trial of Roman Reigns from SmackDown. It was actually a very good edit of the 35 minutes of TV last Friday. And then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn got interviewed by Well, whoever that is, you're not Kathy. They were talking about potential future challenges for their tag titles when Rhea Ripley walked in with Dominic Mysterio and, I think, made a prison joke. Jinder Mahal cut a video promo saying that Indus would be coming soon. My dude, I saw them bore people to tears a few weeks back. The promo was hilarious, by the way. It was so goofy. It's like full of lightning and shit. Seth Rollins was set to have a rematch with Dominic Mysterio, but Finn Balor and Damian Priest attacked Rollins, who was saved by Owens and Zayn. I smell a six-man tag team player. One of the criticisms against Mr. Ricochet is that he's not a promo guy, and that's fine. There are a bunch of wrestlers who've gotten over the years without that all-important promo skill by just showing off what they can do between the ropes. But Ricochet was given a chance here to come out in front of the live crowd and cut a promo to hype up a match between him and Logan Paul for SummerSlam, and, well, it was totally fine. I think his main problem was that it just didn't have any substance. It was basically, I'm a good guy and I like to entertain each and every one of you. There's nothing wrong with that, it just doesn't light the world on fire, and it isn't helped by Logan Paul coming out and saying that people do actually like him, which he proved by finding a toddler at ringside who was cheering for him, and when the crowd started to chant, Logan sucks over Ricochet, he pointed out that even during Ricochet's promos, the people only cared about him. Rick then did that flip dive to the floor spot that he did that one time back in NXT against that one guy that we don't talk about anymore, and I didn't get the same reaction that the spot did all those years ago, but it's still hella impressive. He then hit a sliced bread on Paul using the apron to stand tall. Overall, I do think this segment was a win. It gave Ricochet some promo time, it made Logan Paul look like a total tool, which, let's be honest, is not all that hard, and it told you, the audience, that this match would be all about flips and that. I do think that WWE are trying too hard to make it go viral, but it is decent stuff. A lot of this actually reminds me of when I used to work for a golf holiday company in their social media department, and my boss one day asked me to make one of the videos that I'd edited go viral. Oh yeah, boss, I'll get right on that. I actually hadn't clicked the go viral button on the back end of YouTube, but it is on my to-do list for today. Zoe Stark picked up a shock win over Becky Lynch in a fine little match, using some interference and distraction by Trish Stratus on the outside to score a roll-up. And then we got the best thing on the show, Maxine Dupree's graduation. I don't know what it is about this story. I don't know what it is about these characters. I don't know why this works, but it does. Did you hear how loud that crowd went for Maxine getting the win last week? Karrion Kross would love to get those sorts of reactions. And here, Chad Gable awarded his model student. Get it? Model student? With her diploma. But more than that, she was going to get her own Alpha Academy jacket until she was attacked by Valhalla, who stole the jacket. I love this. Shayna Baszler quickly beat Emma. Glad you came back, Emma. And then brawled with Ronda Rousey. Cody Rhodes officially challenged Brock Lesnar to a match at SummerSlam. And The Miz beat Tommaso Ciampa with the assistance of Bronson Reed. Oh, no, wait, sorry. I think I've got my notes mixed up here because, well, Miz and Bronson Reed haven't been a tag team or been associated with each other since December of last year when Bronson Reed returned to the company. And, well, actually, now that I think about it, he's involved in that Ricochet feud, the triple threat, the one that hadn't finished yet. Well, actually, now that I think about that, Ricochet now with Logan Paul. Where was Shinsuke Nakamura? Is that all just done now? Anyway, this was a decent setup for the inevitable Johnny Gargano return to TV and DIY reunion that was teased a long time ago. Whatever happened to The Way? Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez had a chat backstage with Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville about their match next week, and then Rhea Ripley walked in and continued to tease a singles feud with Raquel Rodriguez. Anyone else remember that Odyssey Jones was called up? Green and Deville then beat Katana Chance and the other one, and we got our main event of Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn taking on the Judgment Day in a fun trios match. It was all about Finn and Priest, who nearly collided but ended up working together to score the win. The closing moments of the show were Finn and Priest hugging as Seth Rollins looked sad. Does anyone else remember JD McDonough? A totally fine episode of Raw with some great Judgment Day stuff and an excellent Maxine segment. This week's show sure was 3 out of 5. Now go and check out our epic MyGM live stream on WWE 2K23 over on Parts Fun Known Yesterday as I read wiki articles about how MyGM mode actually works, because I'm quite bad at the game.
How you doing, Clint? Clint McDougal, everybody. He's here. And then we have a charity promo from what? From Marseille.